I've always had this desire to make something in the animated space, which stems from actually like children's books.
It's like how Cartoon Network used to be for us in the 90s.
His vision was very live actiony and my vision was very animation driven.
Something that would get my creative juices flowing, something that would be creatively satisfying.
You're limited with resources. You make your limitations your aesthetic.
I think people deserve people who want to do good work. So I think when I see everybody who's worked on this, I see people who are happy.
Hi guys, we've made a show called Domain8 and I'm sitting with the core team. It took us over 3 years to make this project come to life. And we thought, it'd be nice to bring the team together. All of us who've put in our time, effort and skills to it, just get to know our process and just get to know more about the project. I have on my right, Riffat. She's a creative director, the concept artist, and she designed all the characters. She's the one who interpreted my vision of this animated series and brought it to life.
I am an illustrator and visual designer. I usually take projects based on their stories and concepts. And Domain really got to me like I really wanted to do this project and it was something very new for me. So I was very excited to get into it, and was a different concept. It has different areas of sarcasm and different way of approach, and that is why I really wanted to get into this project. And like you usually don't get this chance most times when it comes to creatives. You don't really get to indulge into it. So I got an opportunity, so I took it.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's
Yes. And on my left, I have Anisha.
Hi, I'm Anisha. I did the illustration and animation for episode 4 and 5. When Karan and Shikha approached me with the project, I had just come off of lots of corporate work and I really was looking for something exactly like this, something I'd never done before, something that would get my creative juices flowing, something that would be creatively satisfying and would make me challenge myself in various aspects of my skills. So it was very exciting to take this opportunity.
Rifa designed all the characters and the world, and just to take a handover from her and then maintaining the style, especially because animation is so individualistic as an art form. So
That's true.
I think it was brilliant, like you setting the entire world and then her taking it up and continuing with it. So thank you. Moving to Mehar, he's my senior from college. And I've always admired his work and I've just been fortunate to work on a bunch of projects with him. We were just discussing the other day, the different genres of projects we've worked on, like from documentaries to romantic drama to this, which is like a new arena of sorts.
Yeah.
So Mehar, take it away.
My name is Mehar. I'm a music composer, sound designer, and an audio wizard. I love to do anything and everything with audio. And when I got this project, when Karan approached me with this project, firstly, he said it's an animation film. So I was all ears anyway, because I love animation. And secondly, it was an action sci-fi. So there was like no second thought for me to do this project. And this was, I feel like, the most perfect project that came to me, because it allowed me to completely immerse myself into the film, not just the music, but also create the kind of the sonic atmosphere, the ambience and the sound for this. So it was fun.
Okay, moving on to Vijval. Vijval, why don't you introduce
Hi, my name is Vijval and I mixed the sound for Domain8, all 5 episodes. Also recorded the voiceovers. And it was a wonderful experience working with Karan. It was just this year, like a couple of weeks back, that we finally finished the final mix.
We'll talk about the timelines also.
Yes.
Finally we have Karanveer.
Hi, I'm Karanveer. I'm an audio engineer and a sound designer. So I did the sound design for 3, 4 and 5. Episode 3, 4 and 5 on this. I've followed Karan's work for quite a while. He was my senior in college. So you're my ultra senior.
Okay, cool.
So
Yeah.
I followed his work for quite a while, and he showed me the project, and I was like, this is something I really want to do. The tone of the audio feel, everything was quite set for me
Yeah.
since he had already done the first and the second one. I really liked what he had done with it, so I just wanted to take it forward and give my few bits to it. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. Was one of the most interesting projects I've worked on yet. So yeah,
True.
Really nice.
Great. So that's the team. I'll just do a quick introduction about me. I'm Karan. I have written, directed, and produced the show, Domain8. Yeah, I always wanted to see my name as a creator.
Yeah.
So I got this opportunity to do that.
Showrunner.
Creator.
Showrunner.
And yeah, just glad that, I could do it with all of you more than anything else. 2019 December is when I started thinking of, like the germ of the idea basically. In hindsight, when I think about it, I wanted to make a political film, and I started writing a short film where there were two friends who have very contrasting political views, and they're sitting at a bar and having a drink and discussing their politics. And I realized that my style of writing is dialogue driven. I want to do something more than that. Just you have that itch of experimenting with the format. So I wrote that, but I wasn't very satisfied with it. So I wanted to make something more palatable, which is political at large, but on the surface, I want now on at least, whatever that I put my mind and time into, it should be palatable to a larger audience. It should be entertaining in the first place, and then as a layer you can have whatever meta commentary or politics or whatever world you have, that should be layered, I feel. So that's what the idea was.
Awesome.
And then 2019 December to like April 2020, when the lockdown hit, there was no work, nothing was happening, everyone was just at home. So I want to actually discuss the importance of the lockdown. I know it's been like very tough for most of the people, but I think creatively I have found that time off mentally where I could just cut off from everything because there was nothing happening and just focus on this one idea that I wanted to make. So April 2020 is when I started full-fledged writing this, and the show was called Fat 82 back then.
Fat 82.
Like X-Fat.
X-Fat.
is a
Okay,
format,
like the
right?
drive.
And when I was in school, that was my jersey number.
Okay.
82, okay.
So it was called, the working title was Fat 82, and I had shared it with Mehar and Ayush. Because I know that, this is a genre that they like, without even thinking of the music or, the sound aspect of it, just because I know that they're like-minded, creative people, I shared it with them. And yeah, that's how it started. Apart from that, I've always had this desire to make something in the animated space, which stems from actually like children's books.
I was actually gonna bring this up, that it's a great show for children. Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like how Cartoon Network used to be for us in the 90s.
Yeah.
If you watch Cartoon Network now, it's a little bit, I would say, dumbed down.
Yeah.
Much more easy for kids to understand. But even if you watch those cartoons that we used to watch back then, now like at our age, there are still things that we noticed that we hadn't noticed back then. Like things were like so open to interpretation, or there were certain jokes that only adults could have understood.
Yes.
Correct. Yes.
Not like not
Just
necessarily
layered in that sense.
Yeah.
Just the meaning of the concept was not. It was just not two-dimensional or one-dimensional.
Yeah.
It had layers.
Yeah,
and
it had
different
multiple
concepts.
layers.
And
So-
anyone could watch it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this kind of resonated in a similar way.
Yeah.
It's nice.
So that's what the idea was. And I always, I wanted to make like a female vigilante film. So I think, it all worked out, and here we are. A couple of inspirations. I think Kim Possible is a
Nice.
show
Yeah.
that I really enjoyed. Then there's a short film on YouTube which Vasan Mala has directed called Geek Out, which features Vicky Kaushal, which is damn cool. Bhave Joshi Superhero. These couple of pieces. And then, fortunately, I had this, I was shooting this event for Scholastic. We used to have the Scholastic book fairs back in school.
Yeah.
So, they used to have this series called Captain Underpants. 2018 or 2019, I got this chance to shoot with the creator of Captain Underpants, Dav Pilkey. He was in Bombay. So we shot with him, and he's a writer and an illustrator both. And he does it like, he makes one sketch in less than a minute.
Oh, that's amazing.
So he conducted a seminar for these school kids. And just, those books is what I saw back in school. And then seeing him live, it just stays in the back of your mind. And yeah, it just seemed like the right opportunity to put all of this together, channelize it and make it happen. Let's start from the start.
Okay, let's
How
start.
we got in touch.
Yeah.
And then when you heard the idea first,
Yeah.
what was
Yeah.
your reaction? And then how, you took it on.
I have this sweet friend, Shikha. So she actually introduced me to Karan. He sent me the script, okay, and I read it. I read the first episode, and he had sent some very rough storyboards.
Yeah.
I have them with me.
Very, very rough storyboards. They were so cute. And I liked how he had drawn the characters and like very rough characters, and he'd written notes on the side, which was super cute. So I never ever seen anybody like like executed like that and like give it to me saying that this will help you and all. So which was great because then it got me into the understanding of what the essence and the vibe of the whole film was. What got me interested was that there were certain references that he had shared. And I have been a huge Samurai Jack fan. And that was enough for me to get into the project. Like for me, that whole spectrum of 90s was something that I really, really craved doing growing up.
Yeah.
So I thought this is an opportunity. I'll just want to create something. And it was like very elaborate. Like I could do anything. And it was scary but very exciting at the same time. We used to like sit for hours, like 2-3 hours, and just like storyboard visually, and like we used to sit for 2-3 hours on a call.
Just read the script on Zoom calls.
Yeah, and this is the first time I'm meeting him.
Today is the first time we're meeting.
Yeah, we are meeting for the first time.
We've been working since 3 years, but we're meeting for the first time.
We've worked for 3 years. We've known each other now for 3 years.
Yeah.
And this is the first time we're meeting him. We used to work like 2-3 hours on the call. Okay.
We used to read the script and do a short division breakdown. The way you interpreted these into your own style, it's incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I also wanted to like share the chaos that we were in during the COVID thing because we couldn't meet.
Yeah.
So we couldn't sit and discuss.
Yeah.
So we had to actually get on like hours and hours of Zoom calls. And then Karan is then sometimes putting on the video and he's acting कि कैसे show करना है. And then his vision was very live actiony and my vision was very animation driven. So in live action, you have a space of showing 3-4 shots, one after the other. But in animation, you have to show those 3 shots in one shot. And actually, it was exciting because then in some areas, we added those live action and animation. We merged the two, areas. And then even if animation wanted 3 shots, we gave it 5 shots. It was okay because it worked. So that was very exciting and new for me. And I always wanted to do characters like from scratch. So that was very exciting. And then Samurai Jack. So the reference you can see in the characters.
And Zima Blue also. It's incredible.
So Zima Blue was...
I think that helped us in terms of our palette designing
design also. Like the blue, we got inspired from...
ours is not Zima Blue though.
Yeah, ours is a different blue.
Ours is Domain Blue. Yeah. But that was a source of inspiration.
Yes.
And do you want to tell us about like when we started with the concept art, we had like a crow and everything.
Yeah.
And then we decided that there won't be any life form that will be seen.
So when we started, we wanted to be like very grimy. So crows are part of showing grim, like cats and like some sort of animals of sorts. And it was very dark. Like it was darker than what is right now. So when it started, it was extremely dark. And we had started with very dark storyboards. And I was very happy with it because I love dark stuff. So slowly and gradually, we came into a space where it was where it is now. So we added the blue, so it amped up the less, it gave it a little light.
We wanted to create like a distinct identity of its own. Even Zima Blue, I think, has a bunch of colors happening.
Yeah. It has a lot of layers.
A lot of colors
layers.
happening, but we wanted like a distinct style. So then blue is something that we chose because it's an electric blue. It's also futuristic. It also stands out with the black and white. And yeah, but we're like, this is the first season. The idea is like, as we go on to other seasons, there will be exploration of other colors with different themes.
You introduced the red at the end.
Yeah, we did.
Yes, it's gonna be.
Yeah.
While we were also doing the animation, so I have like two of my friends who worked closely with the animation for the first 3 episodes. Okay, and when I told them that the drama needs to come, so their names are Chanel and Pratik. So Pratik basically was leading the entire animation thing for the first 3 episodes. And Chanel also worked on, I think, first 2 episodes? First episode. Yeah. So these guys, like when I told them what we needed and how the essence should come out, so I think they did a spectacular job.
Yeah.
The story came through so nicely, the music and the animation, and I was so happy with it because when I was visualizing it, I could see that, okay, I'm visualizing it, I'm putting it on paper, and that's how the concept should look. And when I designed it also, I was like, this is something what I'm envisioning and what Karan was also envisioning in terms of the power of the entire frames.
Yeah.
And I think Pratik and Chanel nailed the animation.
Yeah. Cool. So moving on to Anisha. Anisha, tell us about how you stepped into the project and the entire handover from Riffat, how you imbibed that style and just made it your own. Because also what I want to mention is the first 3 episodes are the backstory only. And fortunately, episode 4 and 5, the 2 episodes you did, are more dialogue driven.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that? Because there is also a treatment change. I noticed a shift in your styles. But I've shown it to a couple of, like when KV saw it, I asked him particularly and he said it flows very well for him. He couldn't spot the difference.
Yeah, I'm glad I came in on the 4th episode because I really liked the way Riffat, Pratik and Chanel had strategized the animation and illustration for this, because it gave me, like, the animation work was a lot less than it would have been if it was like proper, like a Samurai Jack level animation and stuff. Yeah.
With a full team of people working.
Yeah.
There's this book called Tomorrow, Tomorrow and Tomorrow. It's based on these 2 kids, college kids, who make a video game in the 90s, which is super successful, and then it's their life post that video game. It's a beautiful book, you guys should read it. But there's this nice line in that book when they were working on their first video game. It was, I'm not like quoting it exactly, it's just like close to it. When you are limited to your skill or when you are limited with resources, then you make the aesthetic, you make your limitations your aesthetic.
Yeah.
Basically, you create a show taking advantage of the limitations that you have and make it look good.
Yeah.
So I think that this show has done really well. Knowing that we have, say, a limited number of people who are working on this, and I mean, it's animation. Like it's not an easy.
It's intense.
Yeah.
Like I realized how intense or like how extensive it is while working with the both of them.
Yeah, so I came in at episode 4. That's when, so Riffat and Karan had already discussed episode 4, I think.
Yeah.
I had like a 2-hour recorded call.
Oh yeah, that recorded call. Oh God, we had said, like, we had done so many.
We had done.
It was long.
A short
It was
division.
a long call.
But it gave me like a good insight into what you both were thinking for the story. So that was like a very good starting point for me. And then I obviously did more referencing and all that. Of course, Samurai Jack was a big reference. Then generally anime also was a reference. Yeah, because there was like a fighting and a training montage. So anime and Samurai Jack like really helped with that.
I think you nailed it with the like both the fight action sequences in episode 4 and 5 are Incredible.
Yeah, episode 4, actually, the fighting part, Shikha had animated. So, episode 4, Shikha helped me with the animation a lot. Yeah, that was great. Because so I showed her the frames for episode 4. She got really excited. She was like, please let me do animation. So, I gave her a few shots to do it, and she obviously nailed it. So so when I got the job to do the episode 4 storyboards, I was like, I'll treat this as a proper personal project. I've been doing like corporate work for so long. Let me just pour my heart and soul into this. Then I made like so many frames, and I was like, oh my god, how am I gonna illustrate it and animate it? It's gonna be such a huge project. I'm like, this is like Karan's personal project. I'm sure he doesn't mind that I'm like working so hard on this. Like whatever ideas you guys had, I input, like added my own to it, and Karan just accepted it, like added his own flow, like flair into my ideas, and like he's such a great collaborator. Like I love working with you because of
Likewise.
that. Yeah. Then came the illustrations. Then I had like 70 frames for one episode. How am I gonna make this? So I got very overwhelmed. So there was like an on and off moment of like, I'll start and then I'll do a few frames and I'll get tired. I'll do the other projects that I have, and then I'll again start, stop. And then I'm like, no, I need to finish this. Then I get a momentum, and then I finish it in like 2-3 weeks. But that totally took like 2-3 months to finish the illustrations itself.
I have a question. How do you like dabble between illustration and animation?
I really enjoy like making my own thing. So like if there is something I want to make, I want to be able to make the whole thing. So if like I felt limited not knowing animation before, like I started as a graphic designer. So then I wanted to learn illustration. And once I learned illustration, I'm like, oh, it'd be nice to animate this. So then I learned animation, and of course like help from everyone. Like I had worked with Riffat like for such a long time in a studio, and then having to work with Riffat's style was amazing. Like it was intimidating. Huge shoes to fill, and her style was very unique in this. But I think it was just the need to want to do it on my own that I kind of learned everything. Like this is what I want to do, right?
Yeah.
I want to make art.
Yeah.
So I want to learn everything I can to make art.
You guys want to mention about the softwares that you used, both of you? Just give us an idea about, like in a brief sentence.
Photoshop for illustrating, After Effects for animating. Tried adding some cell animation in the end a little bit, just thoda sa for walking and stuff. But those two softwares.
Oh yeah, so because of COVID, I didn't have a laptop.
Oh.
So I made all 3 episodes on my iPad. So all the first 3 episodes are on the Procreate app. So we I was going crazy in the beginning because like in Photoshop, something that takes you 1 step, in Procreate you have to take 3 steps to do that one thing. So I was going nuts in the beginning. Like I was like, how am I gonna and I don't have space in my iPad. I'm gonna finish this. And it was crazy, I remember. I used to send him such weird files, sometimes. Like some random zip file that is not going only, it's not delivering. So it was, iPad is a very good device. Don't do that. But like when it comes to an extensive project like this, it takes
like for the workflow.
Like Photoshop sometimes crashes with what stuff we do.
Yeah.
So can you imagine what would happen
Don't
to
get
Procreate?
You can.
No, I love iPads.
Okay, great. So now we'll move on to music. Mehar, I'll just leave the floor open to you. You've mentioned about what hooked you onto the project, but I want to know about your process, what you thought about, like how do you think about creating the soundscape for this, and all of it.
So initially you had approached me and Ayush for this project, and you had just said if you guys can handle the audio, basically the music and the sound. Between the two of us, that time Ayush and I, we decided that Ayush will do the music and I will do the sound design, because I was extremely excited to do sound, and especially for an animation project where you start from a blank slate. Basically, you create a world with nothing. Basically, even for live action films, there is something. There is some kind of sound always there, at least camera ka sound or dialogue ka sound.
Yeah.
Something is there, but
Yeah.
in an animation, it's completely silent. So you have to start from the very like sound of the air conditioner in the distance to like how would you interpret the past and the present, you know, these kind of things. But Ayush eventually got busy, not eventually, like almost instantly.
Yeah.
He worked on 2 themes in the start. He did Codec's theme and he did Torrentino's theme. And both sounded great.
Yeah.
So he's not a professional musician, he's a director himself, but he does music on his iPad and stuff like that. And he created that main hook of Torrentino. So that, although it sounded a bit amateurish, I just took that and I made it sound a little more mature. Yeah, if that's the word. A little more professional, a little more like contemporary at par with international levels. That hook, which Ayush made, set the tone for the entire show. So he contributed just maybe 8 seconds, but it kind of defined the entire film. The Kodak theme, what he made, although beautiful, we couldn't incorporate because it didn't suit the colors and the
Yeah.
themes.
When I had spoken to Ayush,
Yeah.
it wasn't only for music. I wanted like to develop this with him alongside.
That would have been cool too.
Yeah, so
Why
that was
not?
my
Yeah,
idea
yeah.
back then. Ki, you know,
Yeah.
if you have, because
He has that.
he has, yeah, you know what I mean, right? He
Yeah,
has the
yeah.
knack.
I know you said that you wanted to make a film that was kind of a hero's journey, but I saw it in a little different way. I found that the antagonist Torrentino is the kind of protagonist of the film, because it starts with him, it kind of sort of ends with him, and it's his journey in a sense, and it's not a linear journey. It's more like back and forth.
Yeah.
And he is the one character that you get to know his past of, also his present of, also.
Yeah, it's his origin story.
Why he became who he was, which I found most interesting in the entire film.
That's a very cool way to
Yeah.
look at it. Yeah.
Which is why Torrentino is the only character in the film who has a theme of his own. The other characters, it's just based on kind of the situation. One of my favorite moments in the film is the climax when Torrentino and Kodak are having the face-off, but it's an 8-bit video game.
Yeah.
And then that kind of
transitions
into
punch.
the real
Yeah,
the
that's
real
Yeah.
life.
amazing.
Fully
That's
Karan's
like-
idea.
So-
That was
Yeah.
great. I love that.
That was really cool because I wanted to do something that it had to be smooth and kind of
Everyone
seamless.
is extremely small.
But also
Yeah.
needed that.
It needed an impact
Separation.
also
Yeah,
and
yeah.
separation.
I love
So-
that. Yeah.
So the idea that I came up with was to introduce a small melody that plays in 8-bit, and then that same thing will play on an organic instrument, not on an electronic instrument. So that is being played on a synthesizer when the video game
Yeah.
is happening, and
Yeah.
that same riff then
Gets on the
plays on
guitar.
the electric guitar. So with real drums. So the video game has those electronic drums, and I think you nailed the sound design for that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Love
that
that
was amazing,
thing.
man.
Yeah.
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 While I was working on it, it kind of came to me, and it felt like a very organic kind of thought, which was that most of the music, if you notice, it's very loopy, which means like I play a melodic phrase, a short melodic phrase, and then that's repeated multiple times, which changes over time depending on the scene, which kind of worked for me and for the film because in a way, the entire film is a loop. Like it is a loop of revenge, which I think worked interestingly in music also because it was entire thing is a kind of
Yeah.
loop. I remember the first piece that I sent you did not like. I don't think you did not like it. It was more like you said it didn't go with the film or something. And I just sat on my laptop with my headphones. I downloaded that dial-up connection sound from YouTube, and I just placed it with drums. I think you had given me key approximately it has to be 10, 15 seconds or something.
15.
So
Yeah.
I just played a drum beat, and then I played that internet dial-up sound on top of it, and then I just left it as is, and I was like, okay, what else can we add to it to make it sound? I didn't want the dial-up connection to get hidden entirely, but I didn't want it to stand out also. Ki obviously, aisa
Yeah.
kiya hai. So I added like an electric piano and I added a bass guitar and just kind of aesthetically made it look
I love it.
like
Yeah,
a
it was
music
very
piece.
cool.
I love it more when I get to know about the idea behind it.
Yeah. Also, it's a polyrhythm, which is kind of like you have two different time signatures playing simultaneously. So you have one thing that's playing in 3, which was the electric piano is playing ding, 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 but the drums are playing in 4/4. So 3 and 4 eventually add up to 12, right? So 4 will have to repeat 3 times to reach 12,
And
and 3 will have to repeat 4 times to reach 12. So the loop kind of meets on the 12th bar,
Got it.
which is the end of the song.
Wow.
Yeah.
So different, like all of our approaches and inspirations. Yeah. Love it. Cool. Okay, moving on to Vijval now. 2 things to start with. How did you go about recording the vocals for all the cast members? And what were the different equipment and consoles you used?
I wanted to do something different, not what people usually do is when they mix and when they record, they usually kind of record everything dry, everything clean, without any effects, no post-processing. And then, they take it for post-processing later. While in post, they add their plugins and effects and everything. But I wanted to, kind of finalize a sound right from the beginning, so that there is no, not a lot to do later, and to get that kind of warmth that I wanted from, a narrator's kind of voice. That's the main reason why I decided to, go with recording it directly into, and Abhish's voice texture is really great. And that, was accentuated even more because of the preamp, yes. It's the Avalon Designs VT737 preamp.
During the lockdown, we thought that we'll do the voiceovers over Zoom.
Yeah.
Because, most artists by then they were doing live
setups
streams and
at
everything,
home.
so everyone had
Correct.
mic setups at home.
Correct.
So we did a recording with Shashwat, we did a recording with Abhish. But when the files came to us, Vijval wasn't satisfied with any of it.
Yeah.
He's like, bro, we have to do it in a studio.
We used the Warm Audio U87 mic
Oh, beautiful.
at Island City.
And then
Just
Abhishek
that
Nair
Abhishek recorded at Pickle. So,
recorded at his studio.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So he came there afternoon, just the 3 of us.
Also, Abhishek का जो last scene है, you shifted his voice slightly,
yes,
made it a little deeper.
Slightly deeper.
Yeah.
So for the last sequence, Abhishek's voice, entire track is duplicated, and there is a -12 pitch down on his voice, and that is heavily compressed and blended with his original kind of
sweet,
voice.
sweet.
Just to get that kind of very deep, grunty villain like when they have these Hollywood movies.
You've killed my entire crew. That's proof enough of your physical strength. But do you also have the mental acumen to beat me in an online game?
Now coming to KV and Mehar both for the sound design. I'll start with you, KV, first. The handover from Mehar and what you made of it
So when you showed me the project, you told me like, just watch it.
Yeah.
The first 2 episodes have been done. Music, effects, everything has been lined up. 3, 4, and 5 are yet to be done in terms of sound design. Music is there. So you showed it with me. I remember it was just with the voice for one of the episodes, and rest had the music to them. So watching the first 2 episodes, it's sort of set the tone for me, like what we're going at, and also visually it gives you the cue for the sound. Like you said, it also sets a tone in the sonic realm. Ki this is what would go with the tone of the film visually. I watched the whole product. I watched the whole finished edits. So it kind of gave me something that I can build upon this thing, and I can lead the sound design up to a story finalization and maybe sow seeds for the next upcoming thing. So that's what I feel I've done in the sound design bit. Also, like I work on Reaper. So it has infinite possibilities for me. It's like, but infinite possibilities with a tight deadline is like a so I had to limit myself, and I also did a bit of I synthesized some of the sounds on Faceplant and Serum, and ambiences and drones were from Faceplant. Generally, what I like to do is I like to design the sound on a natural level. So suppose if it's one of the shots is our flame when he lights the matchbox. That the other one is where he's breaking that glass. I like to do those naturally and then put them into effects and then give them the sonic identity that they deserve. So that's what I did with the sounds. And also for the 8-bit thing, that's exactly what I did. I designed it in a normal battle zone kind of a thing, like a normal fight sequence. And then I degraded them down into a sample rate 8-bit zone.
Nice.
It was really interesting to do it in such a brief period of time, like an espresso shots.
It was very quick.
I really liked all of your sound. Like you did this riser every time someone got stabbed.
Okay, coming to Mehar, the sound design. What was your approach in terms of like what were the sounds that you picked? So
yeah, like the first 2 episodes, primarily the first episode because it's like his backstory and Torrentino's backstory and stuff. I wanted to create that difference between present and past. So for that, primarily I used this very ominous synth pad that just runs like a drone, just runs throughout. And on top of that, I just added organic sounds of what is happening on screen. One thing I really like to do with sound is, like you said, playing with the dynamics of it. So when something is really loud, when something is really soft. Orson Welles' Citizen Kane, basically, he has this one scene, there's a parrot that's in the foreground and it just shouts. The only purpose for that parrot to be there to shout was to wake up the audience. It's a loud shout of a parrot. It is just so that if you have drifted away from the storyline, come back.
Wow.
You know, so I like to use these kind of elements also to again recapture the attention in case it has diverted from the audience. So that blip sound is actually one of those kind of sounds. It's an intricate-ish, and I'm glad the main sound of the blip, which is that drone-ish whooshy sound, is very loud because it's like in the front. So these small things, it's fun to like experiment with. And the fact that this was one of those films where you could experiment, that was cool.
So we also always take into consideration what the listener also might go through while they listen to it, and obviously Mehar and KP might have thought about how it's going to sound on headphones, what sound should they place in the right or in the left, or what sounds like the blip going from right to left, so it's like panning from your right ear to your. It kind of immerses the person into the scene and kind of makes it better.
Again, music cannot come out of something that is the better the visuals, the better the music.
Yes.
Basically. So it was the visuals that really inspired
Yeah.
the music. It came to me extremely naturally,
Yeah.
both the sound and the visual and the music,
Yeah.
because the visuals were just so like perfect. You know, everything was meant to be exactly where it was. So it just fit.
This inferior treatment enraged him, adding fuel to the fire burning within. He wanted to break free from his circumstances and show the world what he was truly capable of.
I'll just talk about the editing process because we haven't addressed that. Okay, so the first episode is when we got Andrew on board.
Yeah. Yeah.
But and he did actually. He did set, you know, the tone, the
of
pace
the-
in terms of the first episode.
Yeah.
But then I think I was getting very restless with just the process because there were so many moving parts, right?
Yeah.
Riffat was doing the illustration, then Pratik and Chanel were doing the animation, then Andrew the edit. And I edit myself. So Andrew did that. I think he did like 2 drafts or something.
Yeah.
And then I requested Riffat if I could take over. Because I realized, you know, like just the learning has been working with both Riffat and Anisha. As she mentioned that, you know, how much she was cutting down in terms of like, if I have given her like 50 frames one episode, she can do it in 35 frames. Like the communication of the story happens through that. So I wanted, you know, to restructure the edit at my end also. And I've done that a bunch of times. Like, you know, I've repeated like maybe a shot number 2
Yeah.
at like shot number 21 ke position pe and swapped things here and there.
Yeah.
So I just wanted that kind of freedom or like, no, liberty to play around with the footage. Another learning for me was that the animatics angle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We didn't talk about the
Animatics
Yeah.
is basically when this is like a hand-drawn storyboard, right? Then she interprets it in her own style. Both of them interpret in their own style, and they make their digital versions of this static images.
Okay.
And then they share it with me, and then I have to place it on the voiceover as stills. Okay, this frame will take this much time on screen, and then send it back to them for the animator's reference.
Okay.
That really helped me time the episodes
Correct.
in terms of voiceovers also.
What once used to be a flourishing land of the web was now a murky grim town without any internet.
I think people deserve people who want to do good work. So
Whoa.
I think when I see everybody who's worked on this, I see people who are happy.
You're passionate, dude. That's something.
Yeah.
That's something I love about filmmaking. Like all of us are from everyone has such different backgrounds and skill sets, and we just come together somehow. I don't know how it works, but I find that magical.
I love how
Yeah.
everybody has just put their heart and soul into it, and
Yeah.
I really like how happy everybody is. It just relates the vibe of the room, man.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for taking out time and doing this, and just it's been a great collaboration. So yeah, cheers to this, and looking forward to many more. Thank you so much.
Thank you.